Sudan. What started as just gunfire in the capital and a town north of the country eventually ended up being a disaster in proportional scale. Death toll and injuries kept rising in the days that followed. A paramilitary group previously known as Janjaweed and now Rapid Support Force claimed to have been attacked by the Sudanese army. That is what provoked them. And on Saturday, the 15th of April, in a coordinated revenge attack, the RSF struck government offices, the presidential palace and main airport in Khartoum. Also, air or army bases in other main cities were stormed and ruined. It all broke out in full glare of eyewitnesses, the Sudanese people. The power struggle pits General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, the commander of the armed forces, against General Mohamed Hamdan Dagalo, the head of the Rapid Support Forces, that is the RSF. The former allies jointly orchestrated an October 2021 military coup. The violence has raised the specter of civil war, just as Sudanese are trying to revive the drive for a democratic civilian government after decades of military rule. So who are the paramilitary group? The RSF was created under Sudan's former president Omar al-Bashir in 2013. It emerged from the so-called Janjaweed militia, that is, government unleashed against non-Arab ethnic minorities in Darfur a decade earlier, drawing accusations of war crimes. The two sides accused each other of starting the weekend fighting, and both claim to have control of key sites, none of which could be independently verified. The violence has forced terrified people to shelter in their homes with fears of a prolonged conflict that could plunge Sudan into deeper chaos, dashing hopes for a return to civilian rule. So why should the world care about Sudan? United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres warned that further escalation could be devastating for the country and also the region. The African Union, regional grouping IGAD, Arab League, all these bodies were mandated to talk with various players, and in particular with the two generals, and to try to get a ceasefire in place. If the civil war escalates, that means the United Nations Food Agency estimates that 1/3 of Sudan's population, that is about 15 million people, face acute food insecurity. Now you know.
Yes, this is what we are saying concerning Africa and the lingering problems. If you have watched this video and you hear when he mentioned the Janjaweed. This Janjaweed is a militia created by the former Sudanese president al-Bashir. They were stationed at the border with Chad, and some of them were inside Chad. So they were used to kill the people of the southern Sudan when they were agitating for self-determination, just like the Biafra people are agitating for a referendum to self-determination. So this Omar Bashir, the former president, he was indicted by the International Criminal Court, and because of the atrocities committed by this Janjaweed. Now, today in 2023, the problem in Sudan now is because some few months ago or weeks ago, the Russian government and the Sudanese military government agreed that Russia will establish a naval base or a military base, a naval base at the Red Sea. So I believe diplomatically the U.S. ambassador to Sudan, they issued a warning to Sudan, and I believe it is because of that incident that they have orchestrated this crisis in Sudan now. They have now resurrected the Janjaweed. They have empowered them again, and they have changed their name. So that is what is happening in Sudan now. We can see it. You can see what is happening.
Let's talk about Sudan. What started as just gunfire in the capital and a town north of the country eventually ended up being a disaster in proportional scale. Death toll and injuries kept rising in the days that followed. A paramilitary group previously known as Janjaweed and now Rapid Support Force claimed to have been attacked by the Sudanese army. That is what provoked them. And on Saturday, the 15th of April, in a coordinated revenge attack, the RSF struck government offices, the presidential palace and main airport in Khartoum. Also, air or army bases in other main cities were stormed and ruined. It all broke out in full glare of eyewitnesses, the Sudanese people. The power struggle pits General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, the commander of the armed forces, against General Mohamed Hamdan Dagalo, the head of the Rapid Support Forces, that is the RSF. The former allies jointly orchestrated an October 2021 military coup. The violence has raised...
These are these opposing generals now were the same people that worked together to see that they suppressed and killed the people of the Southern Sudan until 2011, when they were allowed to have a referendum. And today they are a free nation. And now these people, they are fighting among themselves. That is what we are saying, that Nigeria should respect the international law engagement and treaty that Nigeria has signed on the rights of indigenous people for self-determination, and conduct a referendum for the Biafra people to determine whether they want to be part of Nigeria or not. It is very simple. It is happening in Sudan today. Tomorrow, it may be in Nigeria. When it happens, those that are refusing referendum today may not be those that will be killed or be destroyed, because they may be running away. So it is within the law for people to agitate for self-determination. So Nigeria must respect international law and the Nigerian domestic law. Nigeria must obey court orders that has discharged and acquitted Mazi Nnamdi Kanu of all charges brought against him by the Nigerian state. Nigeria must free him, release him unconditionally, because he committed no crime. Self-determination is never a crime. Self-determination is a fundamental right. Today, they are chasing Igbo people out of Lagos. They are chasing Igbo people out of Maiduguri, all parts of Nigeria. The hatred, the Igbo phobia is continuing. Just the way they were hating the people of South Sudan until they had a referendum and they had their own nation. That is the same thing that we are asking. That is why we are asking the Nigerian Supreme Court to stop delaying the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. These delays on a fundamental right violation is an injustice to Biafrans. It's an injustice to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. It's an injustice to all lovers of freedom and justice. Therefore, the Nigerian Bar Association must rescue itself of this shame. The Nigerian Supreme Court must rescue itself of this shame and caution and sanction the executive arm of government, unless if the Nigerian Supreme Court is there to confirm that the executive arm of government of Nigeria has pocketed the Nigerian judiciary. Let them make it clear for the world to know, so that everybody will know that everything has descended into lawlessness, anarchy, and chaos. All hail Biafra.